Hello and welcome. This will be part 3 of the patch 2.2 main scenario quest. So let's continue. So I am here with Mithrie at the Rosestones in Revenant's Toll in Mordona. So let's see what she has to say. So the next quest is called The Sea Rises. So it says Mithrie wishes to share some final words on the coming mission prior to departing for Limsa. So, plainly, should the worst come to pass and Leviathan is summoned, our only recourse will be to face him in battle. Given past experience, you may very well think that eventually inevitable. Yet, so long as there is even a chance that the Primal's return might be prevented, we must needs bend all our efforts towards achieving that goal. Before we do aught less, let us hasten to Limsa and meet with the Admiral. She will not have been idle in the intervening time and will doubtless have valuable information to share. Okay, so let's go to Limsa. Okay, so we need to go over here. You are expected. Pray take this lift to the command room. Okay. So here is the Admiral. So, welcome friends. I take it Y'shtola has apprised you to the situation. Let us waste no time then. According to our best intelligence, the Sahagin had not crystals enough to summon their god. Alas, we did not count on the Serpent Reavers venturing as far as Fanaland to supplement their cache. For our short-sightedness, we are faced with the grim prospect of Leviathan's imminent return. Needless to say, I am not inclined to let the fishbags have their way. Even as we speak, the Maelstrom makes ready to launch a large-scale operation to thwart the summoning, and we would welcome the Scion's support in this endeavour. But if gods forbid our efforts should come to naught, I will need to trouble you for more than mere support, much as I did when Titan last walked these lands. Lady Mithrie, I am given to understand that you mean to accompany our soldiers to the front lines. I can only assume that you have sound reasons for doing so. I do, Admiral, but I would rather not be drawn on their nature. I will say only that there is something I would see with mine own eyes. Is that so? Well, I am not so stubborn as to deny the wish of one whose aid I require, but precautions must be taken. I shall require that you remain by my side at all times. With that settled, let us speak of the operation. Mithrie, Maelstrom scouts are currently reconnoitering Sahagin movements within the Saspa spawning grounds. Upon completing their mission, they will return to the operations staging point at Camp Skull Valley. I want you to make your way there forthwith, that you might be apprised of the latest intelligence. Commander Falk Breeder has charge of the garrison. Okay, so we're going to Camp Skull Valley in western Lanosia, so the quickest way to get there is to go to Aleport. But one thing we can do is that we can actually just take the ferry there rather than teleporting. So the quickest way to get to the ferry from here is to use the Aethernet shard and teleport straight to the Fisherman's Bottom and then take the ferry. Okay, so Aethernet, Fisherman's, oops, teleported to the wrong place. This is what happens when you are impatient and you click quickly. Thankfully my loading times are very fast. Okay, there's a ferry skipper. Going to Aleport. I didn't realise that you could actually take this ferry straight to the mist. So we are headed straight out of Aleport to the northwest, to right here. I feel like right now in 2.2 there's so much to do, so getting the main scenario out of the way will free up the list at least a little bit. Because I was looking at big fishing, I need to unlock the new dances, I need to check my crafts, do the master crafts, and so on. So there's so much to do. I need to get my Atmas for my updated relic. So here is Falk Breeder. So I've been expecting you, Scion of the Seventh Dawn. On behalf of the men and women here, I thank you for your cooperation. The safety of our citizens is paramount. With your aid, we will prevent Leviathan's return. Okay, so I'm going to just take this. Okay, so the next quest is called Fireworks and Fish Don't Mix. So Falkbrid would have you assist the diversionary maneuvers. So as you may already know, Maelstrom scouts have been dispatched to reconnoiter with the Saspa spawning grounds. Among other things, they have orders to determine where Leviathan might emerge, assuming it comes to that. That our scouts might move unhindered and return unscathed. Diversionary maneuvers are presently underway. In charge of these maneuvers is you Jughal. If you are otherwise unoccupied, mayhap you would be willing to offer her your aid. Okay. So you're here to help with the diversions. Aren't you supposed to be that irreplaceable adventure the success of the operation is hinging on? I'm inclined to say that it's not worth risking your neck for something so trifling such as this, but if the hero insists, who am I to argue? Here, take these explosives, use them to blow the Sahagin passive sky high and create a commotion in Hearthstone, the likes of which the fistbacks have never seen. That ought to keep them good and occupied. Oh, and in the event that the Sahagin come after you, there's no need to be shy. Stay around, get yourselves acquainted. Whatever it takes to buy more time for our scouts. Okay, so we're going to be using the Maelstrom explosives to destroy the Sahagin, it says Pavises, and defeat any Sahagin that appear, which will be done right here. Okay, that's one. Here's number two. Number three. Okay, so you won't actually get the credit until you've actually defeated the mob that spawns, so you can't just kill it and run away. You have to kill the mob as well to get the quest progress. So this time it's spawned 2 rather than 1. Okay, here's the last one. Okay, that was simple, so now let's return to Falk Breeder. So she says, it sounds like the diversion was a success. I heard the fireworks all the way over here. My thanks, friend. We've done all we can for our scouts. All that's left is to pray that they return safely. Okay. Let's continue. So the next quest is called Scouts in Distress. So it says, Fabrida is growing ever more agitated by the minute. Okay. So our scouts are long overdue. I fear that ill may have befallen them. For better or worse, we must ascertain their fate. If it's not too much to ask, I would have you aid us in the search. 5 scouts ventured in Saspa all told. Here, take this flask of restorative to tend to those who may have been wounded. Though it pains me to even consider the notion, if they have perished, circumstances permitting, I may ask that you recover their bodies. By no means venture too deep into enemy territory. However, we can ill afford to lose you at this juncture. Okay. So we have to go a bit further into the Saspa spawning grounds to see if the scouts are okay. One other thing to keep in mind as well, that it's a very good idea to make sure you cap your Allegan Tombstones of Soldiery every week, and also to make sure that you're doing the Beast Tribe quest daily. So I need to make sure I do the kobolds today, and just keep doing them, because if you just keep doing them every day, then, you know, a few weeks you'll be done, and you don't have to then worry about doing them again. But if you delay and you procrastinate about doing it, then it's just gonna sit there, not ever being done. This gives you something to do, and it really doesn't take long each day to get these sort of quests done, and it really doesn't take that long in a week to get things done as well. Okay, so that was the first scout, so now we have to go much further into the Saspa spawning grounds to find the next one. Random fate here. There's so many monsters around here. hopefully they'll reset by the time they get here. So there's just one that didn't, so whatever. Okay, so we have to retrieve their bodies. So we're going to deliver the corpses to Breeder. So it's basically because of changes in patch 2.2 that if you want to get your upgraded relic, you have to do a lot of fates to get at least the first part of the quest done. So the fate farming in the game has become a lot more active in the last couple of days. So we're just running back to the camp right here. Here we are. So you've returned. Thank the navigator. When I learned that you went to the Serpent's Tongue by yourself, I feared that you would meet an untimely demise. But tell me, what became of the others? So, okay. So we're handing over the corpses of the two missing. Dear gods, these wounds were not intended to kill, but to torture and maim. Does their savagery know no bounds? Enemies or no, they go too far. I dread to think what may become of the two who remain unaccounted for. I pray that they haven't suffered the same evil fate. At the very least, one of my men came back alive, and for that I owe you my thanks. The price we paid was dear, but we have the intelligence we need. Even as we speak, the Admiral finalizes the details of the operation. The war horns will sound at any moment now. Be ready to sally forth when they do. Okay, so let's complete that. So, okay, so these will just give random materia 4s. Okay, so it says Fulbred awaits the commencement of the operation with barely concealed rage, and the quest is called the Gift of Eternity. So it says, thrice damned fishback bastards, I'll kill them slowly and then chase their rotten souls through all 7 hells. So, peace, Commander. We are here for a purpose, and vengeance is not it. I want your mind on the task at hand, savvy? My apologies, Admiral. You may count on me to keep a clear head. Good. According to our sole surviving scout, the Sahagin and their thralls have already begun to amass the Aephorite in the depths of Saspa. If we are to act, it must be now. The men are ready. We but await your orders, Admiral. As predicted, the Sahagin have tightened security in around the spawning grounds. A frontal assault is like to be met with fierce resistance. But we are not so artless as that, Commander. We shall divide our forces and strike them hard and fast at key locations. Remember, our ultimate objective is to take the Saspa Aephorite and eliminate the Sahagin priest presiding over the summoning. We are not here to kill them all. The Maelstrom shall engage and distract the Sahagin legion of the drowned pirates at the Serpent's Tongue. Commander, you have charge over this effort. Be mindful that the lay of the land there is devilish for attacking forces. Let the foreign levy spearhead the assault and have subsequent units fan out to cover their flanks. At the selfsame moment, a diversionary squadron formed of galleons from Crimson Fleet shall harry the enemy from offshore. Likewise, we Scions shall from smaller units in hope of confusing the Sahagin defensive effort. Mithrie and Yustola, the two of you are to make your way to the site of the summoning ritual. The Admiral's diversion should serve to thin the enemy's defences, rendering your path less perilous. A small party, I believe, should be able to win through without drawing unwarranted attention. Thancred and Yugiri, your mission is to lure as many Sahagin as possible out of the spawning grounds. Having done so, take your heals and circle round to join the infiltration unit of Yustola and Mithrie. When all has been set in motion, I myself shall cut a path to the Aephorite, accompanied by Lady Minfilia, as was agreed. Well, don't let me keep you, friends. To battle. When last did we fight side by side, Mithrie? Too long ago, I warrant. But come, let us away. Okay, so now we're gonna go and invade the Saspa spawning grounds to get to the Aephorite. So basically, we're getting closer and closer to doing the Leviathan fight. And Leviathan hard mode is the first fight, and then after you've done that, you have the option to unlock Leviathan Extreme. So we're just heading now to about here is where we need to go. Okay, here's the first checkpoint. Okay, got these two guards. Okay, let's now go to the second checkpoint. arrow. Got the attention of the third mob. This is surprisingly hard, I gotta say. I need to run away, I'm gonna die. Tell you what, I'm gonna summon my Chocobo for this. Okay, that's the second checkpoint. So now going to the final checkpoint. Okay, well, people help me kill it randomly. So now we're going to go talk to Y'shtola. Aiding her. So, pray, do not concern yourself. 'Twas a glancing blow. Come the Aephorite is close at hand. Let us press on.
Damn them. They have made thralls of soldiers and civilians both.
Did I miss much?
So what class is she then? Is she a ninja?
So that is how you fight in the Far East. Mental note, pick no quarrel with Domans. But seriously, if I am to keep up, I must needs forsake elegance for efficiency. Mithrite.
That's obviously the Admiral's doing.
You'll forgive me my lateness.
I've been something of a liability of late, I know. 'Tis high time I set about making amends.
Long have you shriveled Sorewalkers tormented our kind. But no more! Your time is at an end! You shall perish with salt in your wounds and sea in your lungs. Lord of the world, hearken to our plea. Lord of the world, deliver us from our misery.
Do you feel that?
I know this sensation. It's the echo.
What? Such power! It is transcendent!
Interesting.
7 hells.
Strike me down if you will. It is futile. I have mastered the gift. I am eternal. O mighty Leviathan, ruler of the seas, born of waters primordial, I offer unto you this frail flesh, that you might grant your faithful servants deliverance. I beseech you, come forth!
Die, damn you!
Foolish Shorewalker! You cannot kill that which is eternal!
Heavens fulfilled. Damn it all!
my being ebbs away. It should by right be infinite. Am I not immortal? Curse you, emissary! You promised me everlasting.
Where did he go?
What say you? Nary a single ship? Hells take that sea demon! Gather the survivors and get to shore. Leave the wrecks for the pirates. Leviathan wastes no time. The diversionary squadron is lost. For a mercy, 'twould seem the Primal now makes for open sea. But why does he not press his advantage? Unless... God save us! He means to unleash a tidal wave.
Okay, so Leviathan has been summoned, so let's now talk to the leader again. So, understand, I speak of no normal wall of water. That which Leviathan makes ready to conjure carries more destructive power than aught seen in nature. Enough to raise an entire coastal settlements, if his last attempt is any guide. We cannot suffer history to be repeated, yet how in the seven hells are we to prevent it? Okay, so let's complete. Next quest is called Into the Heart of the Whorl. So it says Morlim is brooding over Leviathan's return. So though our plight cries out for action, we must take fort. So long as Leviathan remains in open sea, he is effectively beyond our reach. Our fleet is second to none, of that you can be sure. But Limlane herself would struggle to best the Lord of Whorl in his element. In a straight fight, he would make meat and matchwood of us. We need another plan. That much is plain. Let us return to Linza and see if we cannot think of one. I shall await you in the command room. Okay, so let's now return to Limza Laminza. So, you were expected in the command room. Pray do not keep the Admiral waiting. Okay.
There used to be a hamlet beyond South Tidegate in western Lanosha. Hearthstone, 'twas called. Some years prior to the Maelstrom's founding, Leviathan rose from the briny depths and set about unleashing watery hell upon us. On that occasion, the company of heroes put him down before he could do too much damage. But when the bastard came next, this time in the wake of the calamity, we were not so fortunate. Weary of ravaging our shoreline, he summoned a tidal wave which fair leveled Hearthstone and washed the soil away for good measure.
The area was subsequently occupied by the Sahagin.
Aye, the thrice-damned creatures transformed it into a spawning ground for their brood. Given the quantity of crystals stolen to feed him and his legion of thralls, we can be fairly sure that Leviathan is stronger now than in his previous incarnations. If that sea demon is left to wreak havoc, what befell Hearthstone may well befall a larger settlement, even Limsa. That cannot happen. The Primal must be stopped.
That was ever our objective, Admiral. But how are we to achieve it? The sea is Leviathan's uncontested domain. The ships of the 3rd Squadron could not close to within 100 yards of the Primal, nor could their cannons pierce his defenses.
I have read the reports, Master Thancred. Our warships may as well have been bloody pleasure barges for all the good they did. 7 hells! Is there no way that we might strike back?
The company of heroes defeated Leviathan, having first lured him into an inlet, but we must needs contend with him upon the open sea. It will avail us little to consult past experience.
Admiral, if I may.
Speak freely, Marshal.
By all accounts, Leviathan's most formidable weapon is the very sea itself. Waves and whirlpools, tides and currents, all these things are his to command. The key to victory, I believe, lies in disarming our foe. This, in effect, is what the company of heroes achieved with their ruse. We cannot lure Leviathan from the sea a second time. But what if we could weaken his hold upon the element of water? I have heard of devices capable of such wonders. They draw upon the power of corrupted crystals, I am told. If mounted upon a ship, such a device might be used to prevent Leviathan from bringing the full force of the sea to bear against us, rendering him no more dangerous than any other sea serpent.
Of course! Sid built a similar device to grant the Enterprise safe passage through Garuda's Tempest, did he not?
Begging your pardon, my lady, but to give credit where it's due, this is something I heard from an old arcanist friend of mine.
It makes little difference who thought of it first, so long as it works. Beg the specifications of this device from your friend, and I shall pass them on to our people at Naldic and Vermelis. But before we proceed any further, I would voice one concern. Piercing Garuda's defenses is one thing. Suppressing Leviathan's attacks, quite another. In matters of science, I am as a babbling babe, but I cannot well imagine that such a feat would be possible without a veritable mountain of corrupted crystals. The question being, do we have a ship big enough to bear such a burden?
Mayhap not, Admiral, but two might. Recall you the tale of Mistbeard's greatest haul? It is said that he lashed 2 ships together, side by side, the better to bear his plunder. By your leave, we might attempt to repeat the trick. The gods know it would be quicker than building a new vessel.
Mistbeard did this. Truly,
Now, from what I have gleaned of these matters, the device will need to be in close and constant proximity to the target. To wit, we must lash our twin vessel to Leviathan. This in itself will be no small feat. Ramming speed will be required, but given the weight of the cargo, that will only be attainable with the aid of a towing vessel. Suffice it to say, the task of piloting said vessel will entail considerable danger, and I would not ask it of another. I volunteer myself.
will be dangerous for all involved, but we have no better recourse. Very well. Commodore, assemble the remnants of the fleet at Morribee Bay. Give priority to our soundest vessels. The repairs can wait. Storm Marshal Slafirson, command of the operation is yours. I want that twin vessel ready to sail post-haste.
At once, Admiral.
And then there is the small matter of slaying the beast. The fate of Limsa Lominsa rests upon your shoulders once again. Go well, warrior of light.
Okay, so now we're going to speak to Yugiri. So Yugiri says, being held as gods all exist in what you call the Far East. Legend tells us that they walked among us in the days of yore, but I confess that I never truly believed them. That I should live to behold one is humbling and horrifying in equal measure. Now that I have come face to face with a primal, I do begin to understand why the Guardians fear them so. What is it? A message, Admiral. I judged it best that it be delivered at once. I am listening. According to the Yellow Jackets, a man has appeared who claims to have defeated Leviathan. One of the companies of heroes? The details are yet hazy, Admiral. We have dispatched one of our own to question the individual. I am disinclined to put any stone by this claim, and even should it be true, it is, as Y'shtola said, none save the company of Zeros have bested Leviathan, and we know how they went about it. If this man is of their number, what could he tell us that we do not know already? And yet, having wagered Limsa's survival on 2 ships, some rope, and a pile of crystals, can we afford to ignore this man? If his testimony could yield us any manner of advantage, should we not hear it? Damn it all. The twin vessel will soon be ready. We have no time to wait for the Maelstrom's report on this supposed primal slayer's claims. Mithrie, seek him out and learn what he knows. At the very least, it will spare you the torment of waiting for the reckoning in idleness. The man you are looking for is believed to be a resident of the Grey Fleet in Lower Lenosia. The Storm Private sent a quest to question him should already be in the vicinity. May your journey prove fruitful. Okay, so we need to go to Lower Lenosia right here. So I'm going to just quickly go there. Quickest way is to go out of Limsa through this gate right here, and then from there run straight through Middle Lenosia to Lower Lenosia and then to there. It's a lot quicker than going to Morribee Dry Docks, because the run from Morribee Dry Docks to up there is quite long. Okay, so we're almost at Lower Lenosia already. So we're just heading over here to carry on the quest called Into the Heart of the Whorl. So just quickly checking the patch notes. So after Into the Heart of the Whorl, there's only 3 more quests and then the 2.2 main scenario is finished. So now look here, you'll have your bloody story right after you carry those sacks of grain over to the mill. But sir, that's what you said before you had me pick those origins for you. And before I mucked out the chocobo stables, and before I rolled that milestone over the mill, and also before... Gods man, I've worked 3 days straight without a wink of sleep. 3 days. And do you hear me complaining? But I suppose some of us just ain't made for the rougher stuff. Alright, I'll give you what you want. Never let it be said that old Trash Tom ain't a generous soul. Now, prick your ears, because I won't be repeating myself. Too modest, see? Besides, there's only so much epicness a man can take in one sitting. You keen? The tale of Trashstrut's epic victory over the dread primal Levibitus. Now, Levibitus huge, make no mistake. And to give you an idea how big, each of his scales is about twice as wide across as me members long. And that ain't no mean feat, let me tell you. When I fought him, I could barely see for all the brine he was pelting me with. Must have been a lagoon's worth at least. He even knocked me trusty axe out of me hands at one stage. Of course, that proved to be a grave mistake. What happened next? Why, I grabbed him by the tail and tied him up in knots. But not wanting to take all the glory for myself, I let me mates in the company of heroes handle the rest. Like I said, I'm modest as well as heroic, mayhap too modest. Now, there's some as say you can never truly beat Levibitus. That you've got to learn to live with him and make the best of a bad situation. Not the company though. It's you. I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. I was just enjoying the attention, is all. I take back everything I said. I was never part of the company of heroes. I'm no marauder. I'm actually a complete coward. I'm nothing. I'm chocobo dung. No, I'm maggots you find wriggling in chocobo dung. I have to lie to women to tumble them. And that don't happen much. Me member's tiny, it's pathetic. I'm sure as hells don't fight Levibitus, but I have seen him with my own eyes. It was a fair few years back when I was working as a baker's hand. I was shirking my duties one day, loitering about the harbour when I saw it. A great big massive sea serpent some miles off the coast, with a fleet of galleons making straight for it, cannons firing. I was so bloody scared I soiled myself right there and then. What? Oh god, just remembering that day makes me soil myself all over again. Hey, wait. If you're here asking after Levibitus, it means you're planning to fight him, ain't you? Well, take care. He really is terrible, dreadful, I tell you. If you're not careful, you'll end up in his gullet or at the bottom of the sea. Why, you worthless lying whoreson. I can't believe you made me handle chocobo dung. So, Mithrie, this is Menphelia. Were you able to learn aught of use against Leviathan? I beg your pardon? Levibitus? I see, that is unfortunate. At any rate, I have tidings for you. The twin vessel is now complete. We await you at the Morrowby dry docks. Pray make your way here as soon as you are able. Okay, so he was lying again, as in the main scenario before. So let's teleport to the Morrowby dry docks. There you go. Olanosia. So, I'm told your jaunt out to the Grey Fleet proved fruitless. My sympathies less. Our wager is served to take your mind off the events of recent days though. But enough of that nonsense. The moment of truth is upon us. The twin vessel, the Whorl Eater I call her, is complete. And she surpasses all my expectations. In addition to her prodigious Tonzag, she has been fitted with a platform that you and yours might maneuver freely in battle. I would mention also that she is nigh unsinkable, but I am not one to tempt fate. The Whorl Eater and her crew stand ready, my friend. Just give the word and we shall bear you to Leviathan. Okay, so let's complete the quest. So the next quest is called Lord of the Whorl. So it says, Iansars stands ready to send you off to your encounter with the Lord of the Whorl. So, I know that look. You are ready. Having been constructed in some haste, the Whorl Eater may not be pretty, but I assure you she is capable. She's been fitted with what our friends at Naldic and Valmeans are calling an elemental converter. Assuming the thing works, it will use the power of the corrupted crystals on board to rob Leviathan of his hold over water. Depending on how the battle unfolds, you may well need to activate the device manually. Keep that in mind. It is expected that the Sahagin and their thralls will attempt to come to Leviathan's defense. Accordingly, the Maelstrom will once again employ diversions. Thancred and Y'shtola, I would have you assist in this effort. If it is to fulfill its purpose, your divisionary forces must not want for numbers. By your leave, I would too volunteer my blade. We would welcome it. Having seen you fight in Sasper, I dare say the fishbacks will find your presence highly diverting. Thancred and Y'shtola, if you would join the 3rd levy, and Lady Yugiri the 5th. So, but what words have I for the woman who made a sport of slaying gods? Only these. Go warily, for the sea is an unforgiving place to wage war. May the navigator guide you through the storm, warrior of light. I could echo the Admiral's sentiments and add a few words of my own. Know that we all have the utmost faith in you. May the crystal bless and keep you. Okay, so the Whorl Eater Hard is now accessible through the Duty Finder. So yeah, so when this is now where we can come to enter it. But the other way to do it is simply to go to your Duty Finder, go down to Trials, and you can select it right here, the Whorl Eater Hard. So anyway, that's it for this episode. Thank you for watching, and as always, goodbye from me, goodbye from Mithrie. And the next episode will be fighting Leviathan hard mode. Goodbye.